Purpose.
Hello, welcome to Youth of Purpose, a show that is here to give you a platform majorly and to make sure that you contribute to Uganda becoming a better country, such that in the few years to come we'll be able to say Uganda is because we are. Today on the show, we're going to be discussing majorly on how we can be able to appreciate small startups as young people, such that we can start early and succeed young. My name is Ivan Tumukunde. Welcome to the show. This is UBC TV broadcasting here at Nile Avenue, Kampala. And today I have Waswa Myers and Mr. Christmas. And we're going to be basically focusing on their story to be able to learn from what they've been doing, what they've gone through, how small did they start, where are they now, and where do they see themselves in the few years to come. Starting with you, Myers, kindly say hello to the viewer.
Hello everyone, I'm happy to be here, and thank you, Ivan, for giving me an opportunity to share my story. I hope what we discuss here inspires someone to start from wherever they are and persevere to make it to the top.
Thank you. Christmas. Yeah, hello viewers. Thank you very much, Ivan, for the opportunity to be here today, together with my fellow panelists on the panel. I'm welcome, Christmas, and I'm happy to share with you, our viewers out there, on how you can start small and grow big in our African setting, following mostly the Agenda 2040, Uganda as a country. Thank you very much. Thank you. Myers, as youth, majorly, we usually have big dreams, big visions, things we have always wanted to do. I want to own a company, ABCD. I want to own a ranch. I want to build a mansion. I want to own this in the city. And at most times we focus on, yes, the big dreams, and it's good to dream big, but we also want to start big. You want to do something big, but then you don't want to start from the beginning. You want the whole big thing to come to your plate at a go. When we talk about starting small or small startups, what are we talking about?
Like you said, we all start with dreams. We all start with ideas in our minds. And I think most of us, or most people, most youth, are diverted on the way. We all have the dreams to be big people, to have big businesses, to go very far in life. But one thing we must appreciate about life is that it is lived through stages. You cannot wake up and grow beards. And even if I think we've had on some media stories where they tell you that someone was born with maybe something weird, so you are looked at, it is abnormal for you to wake up and you are 10. It won't happen. So youth should focus on, yes, the dream, it is an idea, accept that it will take time. And that means you must start at the lowest point in life. We all wanted to go to school, but we all had to go either through nursery education or primary one. For some of us who started when this
P1C, P1B, P1A.
So for people who started school way back in the early 2000, some of us started in top class, others started in the primary one. And after 6 years, you are in primary 7. So that is even how life is if you want to get to the top. So it is very possible to achieve that dream. It is very possible to get where you want to be, but the truth is you must, and I emphasize it, you must start small, or else you will keep on dreaming.
Amazing. Christmas,
Yes,
the idea of starting small or small startups, what does it mean to you? To my own understanding, starting small depends on someone's capabilities and what as a youth you think you want to be in the future, the associates that you have, if I may say, many rich people who are on ground now, the founders of Facebook, Twitter, most of these organizations and companies started in garage, started outside. But at the end of the day, people are successful. Live around the dream. It starts with you believing in yourself. Ivan, I must say, there is no way how you can wake up early in the morning and say that I want to drive a Mercedes-Benz when you do not believe in yourself. Let's talk about President Museveni. I love him so much because of what he's doing. Someone waking up early morning, a youth, and saying, no, what we are seeing in the country is not well. Let's go. And remember, 27, without any gun, they joined the bush and liberate the country to where we are now. To me, I believe starts with believing in yourself, knowing that I own my life and the entire generation, not hoping the government to bring the bunches of money, put it there, and they say that start and liberate yourself. So as youth of the current generation, we must put the belief in us, putting aside the professions that we are having, and we hustle smart. Yes. Coming to you, Myers, personally, tell us about yourself and what you do, what you have been doing, and where you started from.
Again, looking at what we are discussing, growing up I had dreams. I was so passionate about sports and farming. I grew up in the village and I wanted to see things change in my community. But as you go up, you realize that the things you used maybe to criticize people for are not their own making, and if you don't, maybe you just don't know what you are talking about. You look at farmers struggling and you think they are not serious. That is the word we use. But as you go up, you realize farming is not easy. Or you want to be a footballer, you realize it is not just about playing boots and kicking the ball. So I wanted to change my community, and I started several ventures. I started with rabbits for education, which we worked on for 2 years with my teammates. But currently now I've switched to mushroom growing, and the emphasis was on supporting smallholder farmers to earn extra income. We are saying, okay, you're growing maize and beans, but that's not enough, because beans take around 3 months to grow, and maize you harvest with now in my community people haven't adopted these improved varieties, so they still wait for 6 months. So that is where the mushroom comes in, because with mushrooms the gestation period is 21 days. They grow faster, and they require very small spaces, because we do vertical backyard gardening anywhere, maybe in the corridors, in that kitchen space that you're not using in the garage, in that house that you haven't been able to complete, you can grow mushrooms. And so when I visited farmers in town who are venturing into mushroom growing to learn about what they do and how they do it, and I realized it is very possible to use agricultural waste, that is cotton husks, bean husks, maize cobs and stalks. And currently I'm growing now mushrooms using bean husks and the maize stalks,
which we abundantly have in the villages.
We have a lot. They are either burnt or just heaped there, which is also very bad for the environment. So we are providing an eco-friendly waste disposal system, and at the same time earning something. But like I said, I'm also passionate about sports, and I've always been in stadiums here in Uganda and other playgrounds to watch football. But because I later found out that I cannot be a footballer, as I was growing up, I realized it is not something that I was talented in. Yeah, professionally. So I decided to venture in selling sports merchandise, or like jerseys, any other kits related to sports, or mainly football. Yeah. And that is now where I started a shop that deals in that.
First of all, what is your education background? Did you do a course in farming that helps you to do what you're doing at the moment, or it's just the passion?
The passion, in farming, it is about the passion. And professionally, I'm a journalist. I've gone to university, and because I grew up in the village, I grew up with my mom. All the money she was using to support us as a family was earned through farming.
Which course did you do?
I studied journalism and communication at diploma and later degree level. So, with the farming, I think most of us Ugandans, okay, for every Ugandan who has gone to school, they are told that farming is the backbone of Uganda. And I've come to realize why that is so easy to tell. Almost all of us have come from the background of, we've been supported on farming. Either your father is into livestock farming, or they are into crop farming. So even if you have not studied agriculture, you realize that that element is embedded. Oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone, most of us have some element of agriculture in us. Yeah. And when you complete studies and you realize the opportunities you thought were there are not available, it is very easy to get there.
Mm-hmm. Because of the few skills that you do have. Yes. Great. When we come to the issue of starting small, someone will say, coming from university, doing a bachelor's in journalism and mass communication, and then from nowhere you go back to the village to do mushroom growing, to sell jerseys. Sometimes it might not make sense to someone who is saying, I want to go to Makerere and do journalism, I want to go to UCU, do journalism, or any other institution of learning. What humbled you, or actually told you that you need to accept the reality and do this for the cause, whatever you know?
The word you said is reality. Life is real. It is not a movie. It is not acted. It is reality. If you wake up if you sleep when other people are working, you wake up to nothing. So, these opportunities that we are talking about in journalism and communication, I don't want to say that I didn't get them, but I was so realistic enough, because I knew as a beginner, someone who was just entering the field, I was not going to find an easy landing. Maybe of course you get a job and you're earning the money, but you have to pay rent, you have to do this, a lot of expenses. But then I've always been encouraged to see opportunities everywhere. We must not be static, that for you can only reason as a journalist. You should reason as a Ugandan, as a human being. You want to eat food and there is no job today, or today you didn't make money. What are you going to do? So I saw an opportunity, because at home there was a free space. I was not going to pay rent at home. I was not going to hire space where to grow these mushrooms. So I said, now,
you're not paying tax.
And there is this common saying of, we don't have capital. What is capital? I think every one of us has capital if we try to look at what is around us positively.
Exactly. On that issue of having capital and looking at it positively is where we'll catch up from. But we have to go in for a break. When we come back, Myers will be taking it up from right there. Welcome back. You're still watching Youth of Purpose, a show that is here to give you a platform as young people to express your views on whatever is happening in this country. We are still discussing on starting small and making sure that you start early, succeed young. And Myers was telling us on the issue of capital. Yes.
Yeah. With the capital, I will talk about the Jazzy's business. When I was still studying, and there is a time that came and I was broke, really broke, that I had no money in my pocket. That was 2019, but I had data on my phone. I hope this is not made fun of, but the truth is most of us spend a lot of time online reading about sports, reading about music, the battle between Grenade and Rickman, and but there is a time I sat in my room and I was asking myself, because I was spending around 20k per week on data. That by then the company I was using was offering 8 GB, 20k, and I asked myself, how do I benefit from paying 20k to comment on a page on football, on musicians or politicians, and maybe abuse one or two or complain? Yeah. So when I was thinking about it, I was like, now I need to think about using my phone to also gain something. I'm putting in money, but I'm gaining nothing. And I was seeing that graduation was coming. So I was like, how will I be getting this 20k to buy data
after leaving university?
After leaving university. Now, I think all of us, in one way or the other, we make money. Sometimes you can lie to your parent and get money. You can ask a friend, they give you a 50k. So I don't remember very well where I got the money at the start, that I went and bought a Uganda Cranes jersey. As a Ugandan who supports my country and is so passionate about sports, so it was branded and I posted the pics on my status. And that very day, a friend commented on my status and I was like, man, I also want that kind of jersey. How much? So I just thought about it. I was like, okay, this guy wants a jersey. It means I need to make a profit from this, because now I don't have money to survive on. So I told him a different amount from what I had spent, and he was like, okay, it is fine. When can I have it? I said, let me come and you give me money, and I get it. So I moved from Chikoni, Chikoni Makerere, on foot via the LDC route. I sloped to Chiseka Market and crossed to town and went to the person who is now, who later became my supplier. I bought the jersey, branded it, and I took it to this guy with a profit.
Yes.
It wasn't, so because I think a situation can humble you, I knew I didn't have to border on my little profit. I walked back home with a 10k profit. Wow. Remember, I walked by the way to town with empty pockets, and I came back with the 10k. I was like, wow, this thing works. So I posted his jersey, the one I had made. I said, okay, you take a pic and share with me. I also posted it again. Then other people came, my friends. So, and that inspired me to start now a Facebook page. And also start advertising. So I can tell you that the business of selling jerseys started from the data I had.
Amazing.
And the thought that there is an opportunity.
Are you still running the business?
I'm still running.
Amazing. Coming to you, Christmas, what is your business journey? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ivan and Mr. Maz, for a good sharing. One, I'm the founder of Star Swahili Learning Center. This is an organization, like how he said, which I started on social media. Professionally, I'm a teacher and I'm a Kiswahili geography teacher.
Yes.
When I graduated from the university, someone added me in a WhatsApp group. That WhatsApp group, it was saying learn Kiswahili. But then that group was from another country where they did not know about Kiswahili as a language. When I reached there, they would just post their things. I said, but I'm a teacher of Kiswahili.
Yes.
I'm having a smartphone. These people are doing what they do not know. What if I start a group also? I formed a group. But then I had read about African Union, Agenda 2063, that Kiswahili is a language that is needed. At the very first beginning, it was hard. Because when you form a WhatsApp group, someone will come and put political thing, the other one will put business thing. So maintaining the group so that this is a group specifically for learning the language, it was hard. Most of my friends that I told that we were going to start teaching Swahili, I would say, now WhatsApp, what will it even happen? How will it even work?
Yeah.
But I said, no, let me get focused teaching the language. Guess what? I said, every evening at 8, I will be teaching. It was hard, as I can tell you, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. Approaching like 3 months, we were in about 800 people now joining.
Wow.
People from different countries. Now people started asking, what if now we open up in Rwanda? What if we do it in Kenya? What if now to Cameroon? As I talk now, Star Swahili Learning Center is in 35 countries across the continent.
Wow.
We have people joining us from UK, joining us from US, joining us from Asian continent, and people are so much interested in learning the language as Kiswahili. And now when we kept on developing, growing, now we were required now to register. We had to register the organization. As I talk now, last month we were recognized by African Union saying thank you very much. We are 1 year, we started last year in July. Thank you very much for championing the language. East African community said thank you very much for championing. But guess what? We have been teaching Swahili for free. But we have gained a lot of things out of this.
Yes.
And we have brought very many people on board. But let me not talk more about Star Swahili. Let me talk about my life as a youth. Coming to Kampala, like how I said, I have always had people saying that we are going for the university, we are going for this. Me, I did not have any single coin joining Kampala. My parents said, you can have time. First rest a bit, don't go for the university. I said, no, but I can go to Kampala and I start the university after completing senior 6. There is a company that was selling solar. I moved one morning, reached the company. I said, I request for you a job to go and sell for you solars. My friends and the panelists plus Ivan, if you want to know the business that is hard in this world, is selling the solar. This is the business that is in Kampala.
Yeah.
This is the business where they have electricity. But I said, no, I can make it. Because I never had where to sleep. I started sleeping in a house where it was raining, rats, everything. It was hard. But then I would wake up early morning, get a solar, hook in the capital city, sell solars.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, when I started, parents started supporting me less. I would sleep bad, but look well at the university.
Yes.
And guess what? I became successful and I won almost the whole region in performance in sales. But then that was not enough. I said, but how can I be sustained apart from solar business? Like, how can I sustain myself? I moved to Karere market with 50,000 from solar business. I bought pineapples. You know pineapples?
What?
One pineapple was at 1,000. I bought 10 pineapples at 10,000 for the start. I moved on the road. Those who were passing at Mulago Road, they know it better. They would find me there. I buy 10 pineapples at 10,000, 1,000 each. I hold them on my chest, sell one pineapple at 2,000. And guess what? I gained a lot of money. Youth joined me, and we started now bringing the business on board. Someone who started with nothing at hand, now I realized that I started sleeping now well. Now the business started growing. What do I mean here? Knowing that anything, even if I'm an educated student, even if I'm a youth who has studied,
The reality.
but I can start small
Yeah.
and do something. And guess what? I graduated 3 years. When I had nothing, when I joined the company on a struggle, I ended up graduating. And guess what? Now I'm on the level where I'm competing internationally.
You're into coffee growing.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I started growing coffee when I was in my primary 4. there was a neglected land at home, which was here. It is here. Those who come from my end, they know it better. Whenever people would find me there, they would say, this young man is wasting time. It was a no man's land, a neglected land, here area, stony. So I told Dad, I can use that land. My dad even didn't take it serious. I said, how can I even use this land? In primary 4, how do you think about growing coffee? Even right now, I'm still wondering how I started it. Yes. I'm still wondering. But people who know it at home, they know it better. Yeah. I started growing one-on-one. As I talk now, I have 2 hectares of coffee. I earn over now 4 million per season in my coffee, Arabica coffee, Nasaran in hill areas. So I believe and I think it's all about you as a youth to know that one, I was born a poor, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to die poor. You're not supposed to. Yes, there is saying that being born poor is not your fault, but when you die poor, it is your brain. Yes. Yes. So you must fight. See that the status where you are, you fight so much hard. See that you do not die the way you are. Myers, as we conclude, just in about 30 seconds, what do you think are the most challenges to small startups, and what should be done to make sure that these startups are supported?
The challenges, like my colleague Crispus has said, it is not easy to start. I think the hardest thing is starting. You can dream, you can write about things and talk about it, but saying today I've officially started, I think it is the hardest stage for every entrepreneur or a person out there. Waking up and saying I'm going to start with the 10K or I'm going to start with the 1 pineapple. You look like you're mad. So I think the biggest challenge is in the mind, and I don't blame anyone for thinking so hard, because we are exposed to a lot of information that misleads us. So what should be done? I think I don't like blaming external factors like the government or what. I talk to fellow youth and tell them, your life belongs to you. If you want something, you go for it. If you don't start, you will never learn, you will never achieve what you have dreamed about. So what should be done is starting from whichever thing you have. If you're dreaming about starting a boutique, even one shirt is enough. Yep. And it is very good because you will learn, and it gives you, and maybe the other thing as we conclude, when you start, whoever is going to start, please be patient. You're not going to make it in one day. You're lying to yourself if you think you're going to start with the 2 shirts and you have a boutique worth 50 million like the ones you see around the town. So it is a long journey, but be there to learn. Enjoy the learning process. In a few years, you will be testifying. And that's why it's important to start early, because you have the luxury of failing and starting again as you learn. Exactly. I believe they've said it all. I don't have to repeat a thing. The most important thing is to start. That's all. I thank you so much for watching this show. My name is Ivan Tumukunde. See you next time.
Youth of Purpose.